Welcome to the Crimeycade. I am the mad conservative crime fighter, Stephen Lucas, back again, and with another live interview with gamers that I know and known for a while, and have a good guest this week. Before I start that, I have a couple of announcements. First, there is for upcoming attractions, and these are local events that are happening very soon. First, April 6th and 7th is the United Gaming Fan Fest. That'll be coming back to Illinois College in Jacksonville, Illinois. That's the first weekend of April. I heard about this the previous time I was here, and wouldn't you know it, another conflict. And I can't go to this because, well, if you are in Central Illinois, nothing else to do, you're not going anywhere else, maybe you want to go out there and check it out. Check out the gaming tournaments that they will be having at the college, my former alma mater. Don't know what they're going to play. Oh, what were they going to play? Let's look. Guilty Gear. Oh, a fighting game, King of the Hill. Let's see what else. Street Fighter 6. Also, NBA 2K24. Mortal Kombat 1. Mario Kart 8. And several others. But that's for the Unified. I'm trying to get back to the page I was on here. Here we go. Let me go back. Go back. Hang on. Unified Gaming Fan Fest. That's in Jacksonville, Illinois, April 6th and 7th. If you can't go to that, maybe you're in the northern part of Illinois or maybe in southern Wisconsin. Maybe you're heading here to, the Midwest Gaming Classic at the Bard Center in Milwaukee. This will be the 20th one I've attended. And this is the cannot miss event for gaming every year, at least in my book. I know there's game conventions all over the Midwest, but this is one of the more prominent and long-running ones. And, last year I did pretty well in the tournament and took home some stuff. I'm going to have to gear up and start practicing because you see NBA Jam right there. That game is going to be in the Beat the Clock Challenge once again. So I've got to practice NBA Jam. I got to find I have to find a copy of the Super NES version and practice it up a little bit so I can take home the grand prize this time around. But we'll see what happens. I expect to see some of the Galloping Ghost regulars who live up in Milwaukee to be around, and maybe I'll set up a round table at a later date with some of the attendees who go to Midwest Gaming Classic, and we'll kind of talk about what we saw and what we experienced while we were up there. And it's always the fastest 48 hours of the year. It's awesome. So you can make it up there, do it. If they have not sold out all the VIP packages, then, well, I guess you're out of luck. Also, speaking of this, we got one other thing. The Blade Wars tournament will be coming. They've announced the date, June 23rd, 2024, 4 p.m. start time. That's Sunday, June 23rd. They mistakenly scheduled this up against Combo Breaker, which is happening Memorial Day weekend. That's in Schaumburg at the Sheridan Convention Center. And I'm not going to be at Combo Breaker, but if you're a great fighting game player, you might well look into that. If you're into Bloody Wars, you might look into that, see how you do. Norbert Vale, I bet, would want to go to that. I don't know if his work schedule permit, but we'll see. So I do have one other announcement. Last week we talked about having the best of 7 challenge, or at least finishing that tournament up. as of right now, that's going to be, I have decided to put that on hold for a little bit. Things happened, and I'm not going to get into it on this broadcast. Those who know, know. Those who don't, well, I'm not going to bring it up. But if things get all rectified and all parties are satisfied with whatever needs to be done, then the best of 7 challenge will be back on. If not, then I guess it's going to be on hold indefinitely. But that's where we stand with that. Apparently, Canton's been delayed again. So, being Easter weekend, I've begun an invite to be with the family. So, just as well, I'm going to not be running up the Galloping Ghost this weekend. I thought I was to be there for the grand opening of the Canton extension, but it's on hold again. I think they have to go through one more building inspection before they can open it. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to bring this guy in. He is, I call him the six-pack. The Galloping Ghost six-pack. He's held 6 different titles. The 10X, the Hardcore, the Gamer of the Year, most recently the Pinball Expo title. He's held the Gamer of the Decade title. The only belt he really hasn't held is the T20 title, but he's held every other belt. Well, Bloody Wars is technically not a Galloping Ghost title either, but get the idea. But he's held every title that Galloping Ghost has had except one. And look at this. He's got 3 trading cards. He's got one more. He's got 3. Yes, that's impressive. Anyway. Oh, I forgot something. And I'll bring this up in a second because I see my guest is holding that belt in his hand, and I got something to say about that. So let's bring him in right now.
You forgot one.
Right
the
C2E2 I know. I just said that. You didn't hear me.
I told you.
Hold on. I haven't interviewed. Let me introduce you. Hold on. He is Jimbo Slice, the six-pack champion, the 20 teens gamer of the decade. He is James White. Welcome to the program.
Jimbo Slice. I'm glad to be here.
I called you Jimbo Slice. That's your name. Jimbo Slice, James White. How's that?
Well, okay. If you really want to know where I got the term Jimbo Slice, first of all, I got to make it clear. I did not create that name. When I was working Lifetime Athletic, this is a true story. One of the personal trainers that I worked out with, his name was Rodney Hot Rod Burks. I remember that. And due to Jimbo Slice, they called me Jimbo Slice. That's how it all started. That took off from there. So, for record, I never created that name. It was an old personal trainer that worked at Lifetime Athletic. And I stand by that.
Well, it's inspired. See, now everybody thinks it was inspired by the late Kevin Ferguson, Jimbo Slice.
Yeah, well, but I'm saying it was a personal trainer coworker a long time ago, before the Galloping Ghost opened. Actually, it just my dad calls me Slice in most times. I'm not joking. What happened?
Now, you were screaming at the camera. You were saying I forgot one. So we'll get to that a little later because I want to get through kind of go in a bit of chronological order here before we get to titles and stuff. we want to talk about you first and your early days of gaming to lead this off. Now, what? So you're as old as I am. We're both the same age. Our birthdays are like, I think, 2 weeks apart. Yeah. You're July 24th or something. Is that correct? 23rd?
23rd.
Okay. I'm August the 7th. So you're like 2 weeks older than I am. Literally. Yeah, I know.
Crazy.
Yeah. So we're both children of the 80s. That's fair to say. Even though born in 71, but we're children of the 80s. Obviously, since we're born in the same day. You're a child of the decade that comes right after the one you're born in. Well, that's how I look at it. So, early days of Jimbo Slice, before Jimbo Slice was a thing.
Okay.
What attracted you to video games?
Okay. Before that episode, when I was at Mr. N's supermarket, where I mistook centipede for ants and spiders, actually I was at several places where my father, Thomas White, played Pac-Man for the fun of it. It wasn't very good then, but actually I liked to watch him play. And I back then I said to myself, how did it turn the ghost blue? I mean, I know, long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, yeah, that's a start. And my dad took me and my sister to like a fun zone. Back then, I was a tiny bit intimidated because of the older crowd. But I grew out of it in due time. But the arcades I went to at first, before Trails, now there was an arcade called Popeyes in Bridgeview, before it became Sinbad's. Yes, there was a Popeyes chicken and there was a Popeyes arcade. Not everybody knows this. And I can tell you, I remember my dad and I would play Space Duel together as a team. There were a lot of games there, some rare ones, and I remember like Video Pinball, Space Panic, and oh Lord, too many.
Space Panic, 1 second on that one. If Doc Mac ever gets that one, that's going to be a T20 game based on how hard it is and how quick the games are going to go, because I played it on the 60. It's on the 60-1 board, so that's the most likely place you're going to play it. I've not had much success getting very far on it versus the Coleco version. The Coleco version's much easier. The arcade version is hard as heck. You're lucky to get to the third stage with the second monster. But those things are just moving so daggone fast, you can't even dig holes fast enough, much less dig holes for a monster to fall 2 or 3 floors through to eliminate them. But anyway, I digress. You're talking about Video Pinball, Pac-Man. What else?
Actually, there was a cocktail version of they have the Ghost. I mean, oh man, too many accounts. There was like it was like a Lunar Rescue. They had title version cocktail of Lunar Rescue. I remember everybody stunk at that back then. I was only young, and man, remember those cocktail games?
Yeah, they don't have them anymore, do they? They got rid of all of their cocktails. But they got Lunar Rescue back, obviously. because they got the stand-up in title row.
Mm. They did. Doc did some cocktails for a while until I don't know what he got. I don't know how he got rid of them.
They had to go because, you know, you had to put a chair on each side, and it's like you can fit more stand-ups than sit-downs.
Mm.
No, some of the cocktails they have not gotten the stand-up versions of them. I know in the early days, looking at old footage from Galloping Ghost back in the first couple of years, yeah, when they hit the 10-year anniversary, I went looking for the old. I went reposting a bunch of the old Galloping Ghost videos, the walkthroughs, and they had quite a bit. They had several different Nintendo Versus cocktails.
Yeah.
They have not gotten these stand-ups. It's kind of an interesting, you know what? Be a little bit of a project to find out what games the Galloping Ghost had that they don't currently have. There's several.
Well, yeah, if I remember them.
Double Dragon 3, I know that one's on the list. That's the butt of all the jokes.
Well, yeah. Or there was one guy, if you remember, what's his name? Lon Bunny. He wanted what's this game? It was like
Top Skater. Top Skater.
Yeah, I remember, but that never showed up.
That would take quite a bit of room. Maybe when the expansion opens, don't get it, but I don't know. You know, he calls himself Jimbo Slice. I don't know how you felt about that. Egg Venture. Are you familiar with that one?
Egg Venture. Oh Lord, no.
I'm not familiar with it either.
No.
Hello, KG. Glad you could join us. So Pac-Man was the first. So Pac-Man was the very first game you actually had your hands on. Is that correct?
Well, that's a good question. Which not my hands. It's just like when supermarkets had games back then. Like, I think that is always a tough question. It's like Pac-Man was not the first. There was like Space Invaders, Astro. Too many. There's just too many that could. Like, oh brother. Like, that's a hard question. I just don't remember the first arcade I ever played when I was a child. That is just so hard. It wasn't Pac-Man.
I can tell you which one I played first. It was Space Invaders.
Yeah, Space Invaders. I back when I was younger, I couldn't pass the first stage in Space Invaders, but then, wow. Yeah.
And yeah, I've had the same issue. Didn't care. Same deal with Pac-Man. It took me a while to clear the first state, learn how to, because I was just a little kid, wet behind the ears. Let's see. When I played Space Invaders, I guess I was about 8 or 9.
I was 7.
No, 8 years old. 8 years old. It was a bowling alley. My dad was a bowler, so yeah, I did some bowling too. That's where I saw it. I watched other people play it. I gave it a try. In 1980, got the Atari 2600, Space Invaders, and from there, did a lot of playing of Space Invaders.
I didn't get the Atari 2600 VCS until Christmas of '82.
Okay. So that was your first console game, first console. The Atari 2600. Okay.
Yeah, very good. Listen,
Now,
yeah, the Atari VCS or 2600, what do you call it? Christmas of 1982. I was like in heaven. That was just right going out near the video game crash. They released E.T., but it was a flop.
so ET usually gets the blame for the crash at 83 or 84. That's a piece of it, but not the full story. But Atari did themselves no favors by manufacturing way more cartridges than they should had. If they had cut the amount of cartridges they manufactured by about half, they would have been fine. It's all these other people who are rushing in, making just whatever, just to make a quick buck, and oversupply. Games were not all that good. They were expensive, and then boom, 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 boom. It's just like starting to fizzle out, and it's like, and I'm there. I'm not slowed down playing games. I still enjoy them, and it's like, what's going on? You gotta step away for a second. Oh, okay. Get adjusted. Yeah, I'm trying not to get out of this chair because for a particular reason.
Yeah.
So, gosh, 84. The game I really wanted that Christmas was Pitfall 2. That was
that game back a long time ago. I had Pitfall 1, I had Pitfall 2. Oh, this is so crazy. Back when I got Pitfall 2, when I was a young kiddo, I got a perfect score then. Really, it was not easy. How did I do it?
I think it's easier to get the perfect score on Pitfall 2 than Pitfall 1. Because,
really, I remember.
You have to figure out what screen. Yeah. You have to figure out which layer to take and which tunnel on which screen, and then a little bit of backtracking, which, maybe I didn't do. I guess if you're halfway through the game, like 128 screens across, because it's 255 screens, the whole thing. With the hack, you can get a look at what screen 0 would have looked like, and there was not much there. Just a barrel and a ladder to nowhere. But be that as may. I would not get a perfect score on Pitfall. I would run out of time. Because you only got 20 minutes. Yeah. So I got over 100,000, but I never got the perfect. Now, since all these game guides came out, you probably do it now, but you just have to figure out what ladder to take and proceed onward. So, I don't know if I'm ever going to do that. Besides, speedrunners took over the game. So like, how fast can you complete Pitfall with a perfect score? How much time left on the clock? Yeah, that's not easy. Tell me some of the arcades you went to back in the day.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Well, I had a neighbor that owned an arcade, so that was another thing.
Okay, way too many. I can list some in Illinois, but then some in Canada and other states. Let me just mention some of the state. Back then, before the Ghost was around in the 80s, on Ogden Avenue in Lyons, on the Lyons of Brookfield area, there was a Family Game Center 1. And back then, I did win 2 scoring contests. What did I get? $5 worth of tokens. They were Kung Fu Master and Goonies for the NES. versus. And like then they took scores, but not like Twin Galaxies.
Yeah.
But that's one. I love that place. I went there on one weekend, then the other weekend I went to Trails. That was like in my high school days. And they actually 87, they had the original Dragon's Lair. That Dragon's Lair was so hard. I finished it only 3 times in my life.
I'd say no on the patches. So Activision, if you did a scoring achievement, you would send us a photograph of your achievement.
I remember. Same with the Sega games for the VCS.
Do you have any?
Sega did release some games for the Atari 2600.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
Do you have any of the patches? Is the question.
What?
Do you have any of the patches?
Oh no, I don't. I don't. I mean, I wish I did, but I don't.
Okay.
They did actually other games. Like it was Sega. There was CBS with their games based on Midway games, and CBS. They had like Gore for the Sword Box, Wizard of War, and oh Lord, Blueprint too. They did a 2600 version of Blueprint.
Yeah,
man,
I remember that. So your top 3 arcades, I guess. The top 3 that's the most prominent in your mind, because you said there's all these arcades you've went to over the years, but you didn't know you couldn't. There's so many of them, but what are the 3 that stick out in your mind most?
Okay.
Haunted Trails.
Well, that was one, but I'll tell you ones that I liked from Hot Trails, and that's one thing. Popeyes, I would say, that was my Popeyes arcade board. Sinbad's, I'd say that was. Oh, I'm here. Popeyes,
start again,
back in the old days.
Go ahead and start again because it just kind of just froze.
I know. I thought.
Okay.
So Popeye's arcade working Sinbad's. It was back in '82 and '83. It was in Bridgeview, and right next to it was Old Salty's potato chips. It was California. Man, my memory longer is great. But really okay. But I mentioned one arcade that was in York County. Maybe you're familiar with Thumb Fun. Actually, it was a music park and they had a good arcade there too. It's no longer there. I will mention that one. That deserves some mention because it was a camping trip, and oh boy, it was like when my friend went camping, I was just like, where's arcade? Where's our? It's just I had that itchy for arcades, no matter where.
Were you a fan of Aladdin's Castle?
Yeah, they were okay. Yeah, there was Aladdin's Castle at Chicago Ridge Mall, and I went by there recently in Studsville.
Yeah. So it was 2 years ago. The very last Aladdin's Castle was in Quincy, Illinois, of all places. The very last one. It's not that anymore, but so did you
go on?
I'll let you go ahead. Comment.
Okay. I will mention one other place in Canada. It was in Edmonton, Alberta. Edmonton Mall. I swear, back then they had a huge arcade. And I never been there. I mean, and recently, Edmonton Mall was great back in '87. My family went on a Canadian trip in '87. We went all to the provinces, and then we went to Edmonton Mall. They had the world's largest triple indoor roller coaster. My sister and I went at 5 times. It was called the Mind Bender. They just took it down. Crazy. But I remember back then, my dad took a video camera. Now I record my sister and myself on Mindbender. We went through the arcade. There were lots of arcades. It was like a big room. I don't remember how many, hundreds, but they had more space.
Yeah. Nowadays, it's a struggle to find any arcade in any mall. And
the mall was great back then.
In fact, the amusement parks and the traveling county fairs had arcade games. And
oh yeah, that too. Like when we were in Michigan back before we got like there was like there was a tent or a place like county fair that tent with some arcades. Last time we did the had arcades was I think in we have a summer cottage up in Cassopolis, Michigan.
Right.
And usually had booths, tents, and last time when there was a tent, they had some rare games, but the main game they had there was track and field. I wasn't very good at that. They had some awfully rare ones. Like they had Crazy Kong, great game.
Bootleg.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of rare games that you played back in the day, what's an example of one that you played, you remember, but Galloping Ghost or Underground Retrocade haven't gotten yet?
Oh, boy.
I can name a few off the top of my head, but I'll let you.
Mine was like this long. I know it's just I don't think they'll ever get these games. I'll mention a few. One is a weird title. First time I played this game was actually in Busch Gardens, then once again in Edmonton Mall. I'll spell the game for you. It's a weird game called Pon Poko. That's Ponpoko by Ventureline.
Yep.
That is a squirrel that jumps over stuff as to collect fruit. And I loved it back then.
Ah, here we go.
Oh, you see it now.
Here it is.
But
this is it.
Oh, yeah! That's the one.
I am aware of this game only because that's on the wall of marquees at the Arcadia in McLean, Illinois. The Arcadia.
Yeah, that was a fun game. Now, I'll mention a couple more. If I just say the most difficult game of the 80s, I would say looping. Looping was the hard as hell game. Hard as hell.
I'm familiar with this one only because this came out for the ColecoVision. So that is Coleco really got the ones that nobody else got, I guess.
Yeah, this was a hard as hell game. Okay, now I'll try and narrow a list down to some like the popular ones. I posted some on Facebook, but I'll mention the ones that here. Let me see. There were some others like Pioneer Balloon.
Ah, heard of that one too.
Love that
Pioneer Balloon. This one, actually, I don't know if you've heard this place called Wieners and Losers,
game.
because they had a casting call for contestants recently. They've shot their episodes, and they're going to be releasing them. Well, they're not going to be releasing them. They're going to do a theater screening on April the 2nd, somewhere in North Carolina. It's a ticketed event. When it gets, I don't know when it's going to go on YouTube, because obviously I can't go out there to watch it, because they tell me I'm going to make some sort of cameo appearance on the show, not on video, but in audio.
Okay.
Because
right.
you know why, though?
Why?
They had the casting call. So you had this 800, or this number you had to call to leave your voice edition.
Ooh.
Since I've been cutting promos for Bloody Wars, I cut a promo for this.
Oh.
Yes, I laid out my gaming credentials, of course, as a, of course, I don't know how I would have driven. Getting out to North Carolina was a bigger challenge, but they tell me I'm on this episode, so on an episode where I will be heard. So I can't wait to hear it.
I'll name a couple more.
Okay.
Megazone.
Megazone.
Yeah, it's like a. I love that game. Sorry, Tourette's. This is like. Yeah,
I think I watched the gameplay of this.
What?
I have watched some gameplay of this once. Just comes up to the feed as on the long plays. Not quite like River Raid.
First time I played that was, I think, in a 7-Eleven, and then, my lord. My lord, and then it was like, oh boy. Okay, man, all right. I'll try and think of it. Awfully, I don't know, there's just one last one. I gotta make it awfully good one, which just really, man.
I got one. Killer Comet. You know this one?
Maybe.
It's by the same people it's by Game Plan, by Centuri. They
Oh man, I never.
Megatech. I mean, you played that. It's the same maker, same company.
All right, I got one. One last one.
Okay.
Another Cosmic Chasms. A vector game. A vector game. That's my final one. I want to overload you. Chasms.
There we go. There he is. There we go. Cosmic Chasms. I don't think I've heard of this one. But
I played lots of times. It's a tough game. It had a paddle, thrust, fire, and shield button. And I saw the Starcade a lot. It's like you gotta get to the core of a space station, destroy it, then get the hell out of there, which is not the easiest thing.
Okay, this kind of looks familiar. Yep, it does. It looks familiar. So let me ask you this, since we've talked about these games back in the day. Actually, I should ask this first. When you were the Gamer of the Year in 2012, what was the game you chose for Doc to find? What?
Vanguard.
Vanguard. The game that One of the
Yeah,
one of the games I own.
Yeah, and then someone got 1 million points on that game.
Yeah, I
That
know.
game brought memories because that was the first game I scored over 100,000 points. Colorado, I was seeing my Uncle John back then, and it was a table, it was a stand-up cocktail. I know, weird. Why? Yeah, there was a cocktail. There were these stand-up cocktails that Centuri made.
Yeah.
And it was in a little small area in Colorado, and I forgot where back. It was an A3. I remember the exact score is 105,810.
Right.
I originally had this for the Atari VCS first, then bam. Oh boy.
Yeah, I own the arcade. I have an arcade. Vanguard was the first arcade machine that I acquired it for $90 at auction. There's a charity auction in Jacksonville. Somebody threw it in the auction. I got it.
Wow.
My dad had to bid on it because I was kind of not a little young. Plus, he was in. I mean, he worked with the Ambuck auction, or was a member of the Ambucks back in the 80s and 90s. So, did you know there's a Vanguard 2?
I know. I played it.
You played it.
Yep. Why? It was at Lance Castle.
I've never seen one in the wild.
Time Pilot on crack.
Time Pilot on crack? I mean, Time Pilot
on crack.
Oh, it's a pile of crap. Okay.
No, it's even a Time Pilot on crack.
Okay. Like Time Pilot 84.
You see how it looks? It has a bomb button. Like, it was not an easy game.
Yeah. Like Time Pilot 84, the sequel.
Yeah, but it's like you see that little marker for bombs.
Yes.
You had to use that a lot.
This was pretty obscure.
I played it.
Why did they put the Vanguard name on this particular game?
I had no idea.
Because it's completely different than the original.
Yep.
So, I guess the next question. Yeah, I also forgotten the games I played. Shoot. Okay, so before Galloping Ghost was a thing, I mean, you talked about winning tokens as in a high score tournament. Were there any other, let's say, past gaming tournaments or contests that you won back in the day?
Not really.
No?
Not really.
No tournaments? Wow. So nothing really in the 90s. Okay.
It wasn't like Twin Galaxies, but it was different.
Did you participate? Oh, go ahead.
It's like Family was there 1 and 2. If you get the top score, if it stays up there, that's when you get that reward for the tokens.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
I guess.
Oh boy, one time there was even Pango, which was I thought this goes back to a long time ago.
Right.
And I went to see my score was, but it said someone beat it. That was back in like 83, 84. Yeah. You know, come to think, I think I had one more game that I'd like to mention, which is at least if I can remember it.
Describe it. If it's a,
I had my Mazer. No, I forget. I think it goes for it's, or I'll just say it. Mazer Blazer. I
okay,
saw.
Mazer
I'm
Blazer.
not gonna say that was a good game. Mazer Blazer.
So it's
Obscure
been rumored.
gun game.
It's oops. Let me add to stage start. Ooh, hang on. Let me restart this. Let's re-add to stage. There we go. It's been rumored that there was a cabinet acquired, but I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in the vaults. I don't know if I don't know if anybody's got it. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they.
I hope it's in the vaults because actually I was really good at that game back then. Maybe I can do better now.
It's
like whenever I get better games.
So I jumped it up to oops. So enemies are running towards the base in the middle. Looks like I started in the wrong spot here. Let me go back to here.
This is bonus stage.
This the saucer in the middle is what you're protecting.
Yes, there was a freeze button in the bottom.
Right.
At the very bottom, freeze. Yeah.
So these aliens are trying to get to the ship in the middle, and you're trying to shoot them. And if there's too many of them, yes, you'd hit the freeze button. It looks fun. It looks interesting. It is obscure.
Very fun. I loved it.
I think Fat Chris would be all over this one because it's a shooting game.
It was different. Yeah, these controls were different. It was the control set was different. I don't know, but the control set was different. Yeah, the grip controls on the bottom of the game. And I know. Over there.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Now you've said you don't want to win Gamer of the Year again. And we might as well touch on that topic because, Gamer of the Year, in previous years, at least before the COVID pandemic, everybody was trying to win Gamer of the Year, including me. Although at that point in time, back 2019, older, I didn't think I had a chance for Gamer of the Year because my schedule was not such where I couldn't be up there as often as I wanted to.
You deserved it.
When the pandemic happened, and Galloping Ghost shut down for a while, you'd think I'd game more, but I didn't. I did a lot more video editing because I wasn't happy with. I talked about this last week. Certain people were there was a bit of grumbling over that, but you know what? It was only 3 minutes long, and I read an article yesterday. Venting and getting out of your system is apparently not the best thing to do, but I don't care. I stated last week I would have, if there was a choice given to me between Gamer of the Year and the pandemic never happening, I would choose pandemic never happening because, there was a major life disruption. But ironically, because of the pandemic, little chatter in the background. I'm going to leave that alone for a bit. on the chat. Anyway, gosh, I lost my thought. Sorry about that. I don't know what would have happened if the pandemic would never happened. I don't know how the course of Gamer of the Year would have gone in the path. I don't know who would have, like the arcade never shut and stayed up the entire time. I don't know who was on track to win Gamer of the Year, if not Pete Hahn. I know after they started reopening things, the former Gamers of the Year, it took them a long time for them to start coming back. I think they waited till...
They never come back.
Several of them did. And you know who they went after. They went after me. It was like, I was fighting a dozen gamers for scores all at the same time. I had 50 scores, and they took 24 of them off.
No score lasts forever.
I know, but all at the same time? That's brutal. I don't think any gamer at Galloping Ghost went through what I did. Losing that many scores in such a short period of time, and then I was like, trying to figure out a plan to get some of them back, or at least come up with a plan B, because I thought,
I'm not usually a sit-down person.
Yes.
I'm fine.
I was trying to figure out a plan because, I still wanted this. I still wanted to get one of these. And
you got it.
I know. I had to formulate another plan. I had to formulate a plan B. If not just scores by itself, I mean, it's a resume you're building. It scores by itself is not the whole formula.
I'm going to strip your legs out.
If you want to stand up, perfectly fine. I may have to stand up soon myself.
Boy.
I'm trying to not stand up as long as possible.
I am not a sit-down guy. I like to be mobile. Thanks for bearing with me.
Oh, yes, I know. My back wasn't so crappy. So
no, just I just like to move about. I do that a lot at work.
Yep. And I've got to figure out how I'm going to get myself rehabbed. Anyway, I had to formulate Plan B. So it was, I didn't mention you've had all these accolades. One of those accolades you have is your Professor Token Taker. What? You have that title because, yes, you do. Andrew Wasco is the ghostwriter of the power rankings. So he's number one. But overall tokens at Galloping Ghost, that's
Orchid, on Orchid, I see.
Yes. You're like 50 away from 9,000. Which is what I was trying to tell you. You need to put in a few more scores to break that 9,000 mark. You'll be the first one. But I know Andrew Wasco is trying to making major headway. I think he put in a score in pole position and took a huge jump. He's almost to 8,000 tokens. I think Andrew is gunning for Professor Token Taker too, even though he denies it or at least doesn't take it seriously. He's making major headway. He's second.
Sorry, I'm just going now. I just have some Kleenex.
I'm fourth, by the way. Fourth place.
Sorry, let's just.
I'll let you take care of yourself for 1 second.
Yeah, so like this.
I'll let you take care of yourself for 1 second. I'm gonna put up a piece of footage here, and you'll like this, Jimbo. You'll like this. 2016, Ottumwa, Iowa.
No.
This was the card presentation ceremony for one of the trading cards you got. So let's go back and let's watch it together.
Okay.
Another amazing group in America that's done a lot in the arcade culture into the mainstream and really support this incredible resurgence of interest in the arcade hall and the arcade pedigree. This is the largest arcade in Chicago, Galloping Ghost, which was founded by Doc Mack and a team of other people. And we have some people representing that arcade here who are on trading cards. So let's bring Pete, come on up here. And I don't know where everybody else is. Is Doug or Seth? Just you?
James White. Doug?
Blue shirt. One card. Sure, Duke. Duke and roll. Okay. Now, for those of you who have been to Chicago to the Galloping Ghost, you may not be aware that they're within inches of maybe taking over the Guinness title for the world's largest arcade. They have, I think it's about 500 cabinets right now. 533 cabinets, and then there's multiple games, sometimes 4, 6, 8 games in a single cabinet, I guess, in the deals. And so they have an incredible number of games, but this is Pete Hahn, they're also a very competitive place. They are one of the leading arcades in the world for really turbocharging modern, competitive arcade play. And Pete Hahn here was it this year's or last year's? He was last year's champion. As you'll see on the card, that is one of the cards handed out. So Pete, you say the rest.
Thank you, Walter. Yeah, there's every year at the arcade, actually on the anniversary of the arcade opening, Crimeycade game of the year. I was chosen last year to be something for this year. I really appreciate everything. I mean, Walter and Michelle and everyone that's put this together. Duke and James, thanks for being up here. If you haven't made it up to Chicago, please check out the arcade. I think there's some right down there. Yeah, thank you guys for the opportunity.
Okay, you were here. I know what it's about.
Okay, working on big shoulders. Why don't you mention those two names, Pete? One of the cards you can get is the one that says GOTY on the table over there. Tell us about that, Pete.
So there's 2 unreleased games that we've actually been able to bring back to life. Argus and Arena. These games actually were made it to prototype. Were never actually released, but we have so many developers local to us that they were able to come in, help us design final art for it, complete the levels, get us support, and put these games together. So now they're actually able to be played at Galloping Ghost Arcade by anyone at any time. Possibly nowhere else in the world, as Billy said. So if you have a chance, please come in and try our Argus and Arena at Galloping Ghost Arcade. Alright, so we have a special award here. This is what we're calling the 10X Championship belt. My friend Pete Gores is the winner of this prestigious belt. This is for winning 10 extreme game tournaments. Every Monday at the arcade, we have a release a new game on the arcade floor that no one has ever played before, and so it's a one-day tournament. So Pete's a great player right out of the box. He's won 10 of these the last ones. He's the first one to win 10 in a row. So he won the belt in the belt resets, and now someone can win the belt again. So congrats to Pete for that.
Yay.
So next up, I'm going to be showing, these are our technicians. Seth is our lead technician at Galloping Ghost Arcade. He unfortunately couldn't make it out here, but he's done such a good amount, like bringing games back to life. He's responsible for keeping everything working day to day. If you've met him, you can send him a message on Facebook, send him a friend request, and then from there, just if you have any problems with any of the games, he'll respond to it right away. He's very, very attentive. And then the other reward there is for Doug Fox, who's an outside technician who fixes a lot of our boards that we just can't get to or don't have the know-how how to repair. And so thank you, Doug. Yeah.
Yay.
lot of cards there. I think we're at the end of this.
Actually, when I was there, I wasn't presented with the card. My family was there to help out. My dad was in front of the wall today, and up on.
It brings back. So I was asked. I was asked, and I'm gonna have to let an unhappy person get in here
Oh boy.
because he's just sitting out here crying his eyes out. This guy, this turkey.
Oh, Kitty.
Cody.
Oh.
Yes, Iron Gorilla said he was gonna bite someone's ear off if so he could win Bloody Wars. Well, if he does that, this guy's gonna rip his arm off, and he'll do it too because he's bitten me multiple times. Ugh.
Well, I can rival that. Let me see if I can find her. No, I was going to show Sydney. It's going to say. All right. I can't show my dog. Sorry.
Oh, well. Yeah, two cats.
I was going to show my dog Sydney, but I just said it's okay. No worries.
Speaking of Billy and Walter Day, stay over there. Get this guy. You had him for your 50th birthday party.
Yeah.
That's quite a feat to pull off.
Okay.
Did it.
All right. Love it now. That's the man that was it's Michael Goodall of this family. Yeah, the ultimate family photo, the gamer of the century and the gamer of the decade. Oh my God. Michael's like worshiping that photo. It's like, which family who would love to have a photo like this? Michael was one lucky family to have that picture.
Wow.
But not everybody knew Billy Mitchell, Walter Day, or even Todd Freeman. It was a shocker that Billy came. Walter was there, and plus a whole lot of people.
You know, you're that special, Jimbo Slice.
Important. A specialist for what? I don't know. What does special mean? Well,
you're that famous a gamer. You're a famous gamer. You're probably one of the best of all time. Which you know, we've been. There's been a little bit of. There's been some chatter about getting you into a certain Hall of Fame.
I know what you're talking about, but not yet. I'm not worried into. Look, if the International Video Hall of Fame happens, I'll take it. But I'm in no rush. Getting in there is awfully hard.
I've been trying to get in with my Nintendo tournament.
Right now, I just will hold off on that.
Okay. So, you've put out a proposal. You've been kind of teasing this proposal. I'm going to give you the opportunity to maybe explain it a little better for the first time for our viewing audience. This guy's wanting to climb right in front of my screens, which I'm not going to allow him to do, but he wants to because he's devious. You've put out a proposal. You want to do something called a Video Gamer Senior League. Could you
that's not going to happen.
That's not all about?
Happen.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
What did you
have in mind? I'm a lousy organizer.
Lousy well, it's a proposal. It doesn't mean this goofball's playing in the wires now.
No, just I mean, it's just I do try to adapt and adjust to any genre of game, but the wow factor has not. I mean, it's not. I mean, I'm not trying. It's not all about the oldies but goodies, but just if something catches my eye and I get into it, then bam. I mean, I miss the 10X belt. It's like Doc tried the Commander series, But like, I don't think there's, unless it comes with something for Mondays. Look, I saw that. Well, I saw Tracy. Oh God, oh Lord.
I had some fun with the youngsters. Pac-Man Battle Royal is a 4-way over at Troy's place in Decatur. I started talking trash to the youngsters, telling them I was going to crush all of them and have some just kind of like your pro wrestler heel chatter. I did that and had some fun. And the kids who are punching the boxing bag, trying to see how hard they can punch. I was saying things like, "You punch like a little kid." Oh, wait. Because it was a kid. Sorry, Cody wants to. All right, he bit me, so he's out of here.
Ouch.
Second. Give him a chance, but he doesn't want to behave, so you're out of here, little boy. Anyway, that's why I don't want him in here, but I should have had, when I deal with those cats, I have a can of air, and I kind of shoot in the air, and he reacts and runs off. Didn't have that handy in here. So, anyway, enough of the distractions from the furballs, but I don't know. See, I mean, how many gamers you know that are in their 50s or older? Besides me.
Well, there was one when I was off on Sundays a long time. There was Joe Dernovich. He was older than me. He has house high on Zaxxon. He played a lot of pole position, Juno first.
Yeah.
You would never met him, but I ran into him. But I miss him. It was like his 60s now.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
No.
Is he 57? Really? A lot of the classic 80s gamers, would be up there in years now. Kind of about the same. Some in late 40s, early 50s. So, I'm no exception. I don't know how. Billy Mitchell, I think, has crossed the 50 mark, too. Kind of born in the same decade I was. I don't know if any particular gamers that were born in the 1960s. There probably are some.
A lot?
Yes. Certainly the people who designed the games back then were probably in their 20s or 30s working for Atari or Coleco or any of the arcade manufacturers. Yeah, they would be up there. Well, was there any gaming exploits that you had so we talked about the 80s. What about the 90s and the 2000s?
Oh boy, when arcades died as separate consoles, I had Sega Genesis along with the CD and 32X. I always been a Sega fan. I never owned an NES. Crazy. And then I had the Saturn, which I love to play, but I missed that system. Don't ask me what I did with it. I had Dreamcast and I had online. Back then, early online gaming was great. Now it's like, Then I tried Xbox. Not crazy about it. I went from GameCube and I'm a stick with Nintendo. But it is shocking that I never owned an NES. Why? It's too expensive back then.
See, now I got that was the first system I got. Well, I did have an Atari 8-bit computer. I got some games for it. when my parents got divorced and remarried, my stepmother had a Commodore 64. Others had Commodore 64s. I was an Atari guy. But be that as may, I have it. Might as well use it. I acquired several games for the C64, many of the classic arcade games, and yes, I played those, and started getting really good because I had such a variety of games to play. Did you have a PlayStation? Did you have a Sony PlayStation ever?
For a while, I didn't really care for it.
Didn't really care for it? Okay. I stuck with Nintendo. So post video game crash, I started seeing, yes, Super Mario in the arcade.
Yeah, I remember that. It was a hot thing in the 80s. Everybody wanted to play that game.
That was probably the game that pulled gaming back into prominence. Because I don't know of any other game that would have done it. Now, Pac-Man existed. It's kind of a precursor to Super Mario. The mechanics weren't quite the same. But, yeah. Super Mario was it. I think Zelda had a large... Once people got the console, Zelda kind of just injected the scene with another... steroids to make it even bigger. Go ahead. You had something in mind?
Not really. I just hope you don't put this video. It was I didn't like to talk about when Arm Champs 2. Don't put the video because everybody can see that video. No, don't.
I don't have it up. Don't worry about it.
Don't. It's on YouTube. Everybody can see it.
The video, everybody. The reason why anybody watches that video is because John Parrish is playing it. That's why everybody watches it.
It's the hardest level I never played ever since. It was hard my elbow and shoulder.
I know.
I think on this level, if I ever played it again, I couldn't.
What about R360?
I was like, I loved it.
But would you play it again?
Oh boy, let me see. Let me see. I'll send you the link.
I don't have the R360 link. Would you play the R360?
Let me try this. I said I'm going to try and find it.
Oh, you're looking for the video.
It was a crazy. Let's see if I can find it. As God, my phone is so crazy.
All right, while you're looking for it,
I'll send you the link and let's see.
Okay.
Hang on.
You can put it in the chat. No, click on it.
I am not familiar with technology. There's a way to let me see. I recently put this up again. Let me see. Hang on. I'll just send the link to you guys. Okay.
While you're looking for that,
I'm getting there.
While you're looking, if you happen to win Gamer of the Year a second time, which you say you don't,
correct?
What game would you choose to put on the floor?
Oh, that's hard.
I know. I have a game in mind right now. I decided a bit ago, like months ago, because I started playing it, and Galloping Ghost doesn't have it, so maybe they should get it. I know the first time around it was Jump Bug, which I've stopped playing because they added rules to it and to make it harder to take the score back, which I want to do a monologue on that at some point in the future. I just haven't written it. Still looking?
I got it. Let me see.
Okay.
I got it.
Anybody got any questions in the chat? Go ahead and fire them while he's looking. Well, here's something else.
Okay.
You got it?
It's not you.
All right. I'll get it up on the screen. And
Okay.
it's not coming through. Doggone it.
Good.
Anyway. How did you... So the next question I have for you, and this is a pretty easy question. How did you hear about the Galloping Ghost Arcade?
Oh boy, I think my mom had a flyer, and either I went by it sometimes, just decide. Man, it's hard to remember. Either my mom had a flyer, and I went there, and I saw signs as I take scores very seriously, and I was scoring book talk. It was Mr. Do. Okay, I think you got it.
It is not coming through. That's not good. Let me check, see if it came through on my phone. Because the Facebook did an upgrade. Oh, here we go. Video by Galloping Ghost Arcade. Let's hope I can even open it.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. All right. Let me get this up on the screen.
You'll laugh like crazy.
Let's see if I can get it.
Mind you, when I rode the roller coasters back in the prime, I was like crazy banshee of hell.
Now, I can't put audio up. Apparently, I have to do something special, but Doc is talking about the R360 here.
Oh man, no volume.
Unfortunately, maybe I can do something here. Let me pull this out.
He's gonna get all strapped in, and we will watch him. Dudes, do not try to home. Why? No, Doc is not paying me. I need to live this through. Easy. Jimbo
Do we have audio?
Seatbelted in.
I can do it.
Legends of
Okay.
Mortal Kombat. Shout out to Bad News to Cruz. Thank you for joining us. And Sean, Ryan, Bowman, what is up? One of the legends of the industry, creator of and programmer on Rampage. And
Yeah, it's coming through a speaker. Kind of a workaround, but
thank you for being here. And Ed, what is up? And Steven and Jose saying that's so cool. We are going to watch as Jimbo Slice gets seatbelted in and plays Sega's R360. This is the first time he's tried it. The full motion experience, the only one playable in the US or Japan. Shouts to Eduardo and Brad and Krista.
we're trying to find all the other ones that are
Gregson,
that still exist.
Oh, he's going in.
There's somewhere in Europe where there's two of them together,
Shouts Courtney and Vince.
or maybe three. I'm not sure.
Just listen, you'll laugh like crazy.
Selecting between the experience course and the fighting course. Held this at our 10-year anniversary Monday mystery game. He's going
Yeah, this hurt my neck when I wrote it. Of course, not used to the motions. So I've only written it once. Of course, this is on auto mode. So you're riding it like an amusement ride. You're not actually playing it. Yeah, the motions are a little rough if you're on it.
I loved it.
Fat Chris says he wants to ride this. He actually made it a goal to, if he has to lose weight to do it, he'll do it. Did this hurt?
No.
Were you hurting anywhere after you got off the ride?
No, it was great.
Okay.
I sit there.
Wow. So Canton's supposed to open, so we will have access to this game soon. Apparently not this weekend. I'm not sure, unless something changes tomorrow. But
Time.
all right.
You must have emergency. That's all right.
All right. Hang on. All right. Wow. Yeah, that was. So you had a. So go ahead. Tell it. You rode this. You'd ride it again.
Well, my parents are concerned about high blood pressure, which I'm having is under control. So, due respect, once is enough. I loved it.
I know that I rode it and it hurt my neck. Of course, I think any roller coaster would hurt my neck as well. So I got to be careful if I ride that thing again. I know somebody played it for score and got over 40. I don't think he got to 50. I don't think they took scores. I don't think they took any scores when they unveiled it. But what's his name? Ed, I think is who it was. Played for score. Yeah, it's G-Lock.
Oh, yeah.
It is a little different than the arcade version or the regular arcade version, but yeah, that's. So yes, Canton, Galaxy Force 2 is in there, and then Thunderblade's in there, in that room. So there's supposedly going to be an attendant in there to operate those rides because you kind of need somebody there to keep an eye on things because of how delicate these machines are, especially the Galaxy Force. Anything you want to add? Are you excited for Canton?
Well, I can tell you this. If I could tell you, in my opinion, what was the biggest and tallest, it's not just Citron. Actually, look up TX1.
Yes. 3 screens.
And there was 2 cabinets. One was a sit-down against that, but one I saw on trails was like big as hell.
TX1 is kind of I guess, a spiritual sequel to Pole Position. Because it was done by Atari.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen one in the wild. I've seen it. All I know about the game is the Atari Age magazine. That's it.
I played it.
One. All right. You think the Ghost will get it?
If they can find room for it.
If they can find room for it. Well, they got Sega. They got the Sega Strike Fighter, which is 3 screens. Yep. There was a question. After many years of competitive gaming, do you find it hard to play games just for fun?
Yeah.
That's a yes. Okay.
I need to get into that. That after 40 years, that's something hard for me to get into. And I need to learn how to do it fast. I've been offering my coworkers, member friends, like they need to want to try it out. I talked to the owners, and then bam. There was a one time I had another friend's son, and Tony Waffles waived both of their fees. Well, because I have those titles, and well known there, and well, worked at Health Club for a long time in the business, and bam.
Speaking of titles, yes, I'm the reigning Pinball Expo champion.
That's
You're the
good.
former champion.
That's okay. It's good. It's good.
Let me say this. Don't panic.
Why would I?
You know, I feel like cutting a promo a little bit.
It's okay.
Yeah, the Pinball Expo 23, you beat me out in 22. You knew some tech I didn't know. Slice Spy and Osmond. If I knew that tech, I think that contest would have been a little more closer. I might have even beaten you.
It was down to the wire then.
I know. You had more of the high scores than I did. Be that as it may, I was kicking myself over and over and over. It's like, if I'm gonna go for Gamer of the Year, that pretty much short-circuited all my plans. So, counting down the days and the weeks before the next Pinball Expo, and there was an open question: would you be in the pinball? Would you compete for this belt again? And you sat out.
I grew tired of the last one.
You decided not to compete, and I wanted to compete against you because I wanted to avenge my loss.
Next year I'll think about it. Next year I'll think about it.
Oh, but I don't think I have to wait as long as October, because that belt that you were screaming and yelling about, trying to tell me I forgot. Yeah, could you pull that belt out for a second? The C2E2 belt. Pull that out for a second.
I put it back in the room.
Oh, I told you to keep them handy. Good grief. Anyway, I told you to keep them handy because you might.
I am here. Well, I'll show you one thing I did bring out. You see it?
Hold on.
See it?
I can't. There's a finger in the way.
Oh, sorry. Okay. It's my statue.
The statue. I was gonna get to that a little.
It's the big one to keep wrapped up.
Oh, you kept it wrapped up? Okay. Well, regardless. Go ahead on the statue.
It's delicate. I don't want anything to happen to it.
You don't want anything to happen to it? Well, I'll tell you this. By the way, looks like KG had to depart, but farewell statement. Had to step out and go get dinner. Wanted to say that. I don't know if he messed up the emote, but I think that's what you meant. But anyway, see you later. Enjoy dinner. Anyway, C2E2. There's been all this chatter that is it going to happen this year? Is Galloping Ghost going to C2E2? Are they going to have a tournament? And it's getting closer and closer, like we're a month away. If the Galloping Ghost does go into C2E2 and they hold a tournament for a belt, which you won the C2E2 23 belt, the first one, they created the championship. It just so happened that Midwest Gaming Classic was going on the same weekend as C2E2, so I couldn't go there. Of course, I made some moolah by going to Midwest Gaming Classic. I hope to win some moolah again this time around. I'm certainly going to enter some of those tournaments. Not every tournament, but the one that I got quite a bit of money last year. I'm going to enter that again. But C2E2 is going to be a different weekend than Midwest Gaming Classic. You're the defending champion. You are the current C2E2 champion. I'm still smarting over not winning this in 22. I want to face you at C2E2 for the title this year. I don't want you to get cold feet.
All good.
I want to avenge my loss. I want to prove myself as the gamer of the decade. So, the worst, yes, I want you to be. I want you to be there.
I'll be there. If they're going to be there with a belt, I'll be there. This will be the battle of the. I don't know.
It will be the battle. It will be a battle of two former Gamers of the Year and whoever else enters this tournament. Now I know.
It's all good.
I know it's all good. It'll be great. I want it to be great. Is what I want. I want to compete against you one more time for the belt, the C2E2 Championship. That is the only active Galloping Ghost belt that I've not held. That's the last one. The 10X was retired. I can't win the 10X, even if I drove up commuted 200 miles every Monday for 10 weeks in a row. I can't win that belt. Closest I came was during the run where Andrew broke the record for fastest 10X season, which that was some bad luck there.
Bring a debit card to Chicago. It stinks. When I went there, they wouldn't accept my cash.
What are you talking about?
When you go to the McCork place, I went to the McCork place with C2E2. They did not accept my cash. They had to take a credit card or debit card.
Oh, yeah, okay. That irritates me. Cash is king, damn it.
You got that right.
They're trying to go cashless, I guess, to make it supposedly harder to steal, I guess. Electronic funds are harder to steal than physical funds, but what? To each his own. Regardless.
I just don't like the city like what used to be. When was back in the good old days was fine.
Stray has a question. I might face the winner of the new NK1 tournament. Oh, I'm going to think about it. I have to worry about the current best of 7 challenge I have out there that that I put on the pause. So I'm going to wait until certain things are set up, or at least I find out things are set up and everybody's situations are rectified and everybody's satisfied with the rectification. Those who know what I'm talking about know. So I'm not going to elaborate any further because I don't want to stir up the pot on this again. Well, I don't want to stir up the pot because I already know. I've already been through a situation like this personally. It wasn't fun. And, I don't want to see that. I stand with Galloping Ghost Arcade. That's all I'm going to say. I stand in solidarity with Galloping Ghost. Whatever, from hell, good or bad, I stand in solidarity with Galloping Ghost Arcade because that is the happiest place on earth. Yeah, there are bad things happen. I mean, frustrations. You've had some bitter rivalries. Yes, things happen where,
I'm not
going to rehash them, but I'm just saying.
Hey, look, it's water in the bridge.
Yes. I mean, score chasing and stuff. I mean, you get frustrated.
I
had some frustrations when Andrew. I had frustrations with for several gamers that were beating me up all at once.
Someday I just gotta focus on the fun factor now. It's just let me tell you something. trying to get to compete for top score just wears me out now. It's like I don't like to curse. I do apologize when I say that. It's just it's so much other stuff. It can be tiring. It is. And like here's the thing. Back in the good old days, it's like we gave hints and tips to other people in the arcades.
Yeah.
And now it's like either they listen or just say, like, I'll tell you one story.
Okay.
Before I got the world record in bubbles, I tried to get this guy hints about how to use a sink and a smile. He ignored me, then I don't know how to go there.
He wanted to discover it on his own. I
You know
I
how
would
I
have
look.
to.
He didn't discover it. It's just acting like a plain asshole.
Oh, well, they call that backseating or something, which
Whatever. You know,
I
it's
kind of understand a little bit.
I wish the guy on the ghost would be like, cheers. Everybody knows who we are, but unfortunately, no. No.
Well, carrying a belt around seems to get everybody's attention, so I don't know. This belt right here, you've had every belt that Galloping Ghost has had to offer, except for this. This is the last one. T20. You say you physically, mentally cannot handle a T20 tournament anymore.
I really mean it.
I should ask you.
It's not about it's just when I played there after my 50th birthday, I was just worn and beaten up. Mentally and physically. I was drained of energy. Really
Yeah.
drained.
21
That
hours.
was murder on me.
It's 21 hours of competition, and
I just that's just I'm not saying it just wears me out. It doesn't matter who wins or loses. It's just it wears me out now. Trying to qualify.
Well, you just qualifying's easy. You just put a score on every game.
I know. It just wears me out.
So how did you deal with pressure in the gaming scene? Or is it a very difficult challenge?
I imagine better like you used to.
Better let me what?
What? Oh.
Repeat that. That was a little
I
confusing.
imagine better like he used to.
Okay.
But, it's just it's like someday I'm gonna just learn and get back to the fun factor. Because playing competitively for 40 years just drains you. I know.
Well, I'm 52. I feel like I've got a... Well, so I'll be 53 in August. 2 weeks after. But regardless, I feel like I've got a lot to get out of the gaming scene before, I don't know, I can't play games anymore. And I'm going to do whatever I can while I'm still physically healthy enough to do it. Bad back, notwithstanding. It's probably a good thing I'm not going up there, because it's like that'd be a rough deal on my back too. Riding in the car for 3 hours with a sore back. Yeah. Well, I mean, T20. Well, I guess I don't know. So I hope I do see you at C2E2 and we can play for that title. I don't know how many people. We may be the only 2 people fighting for that belt.
We need to pick it up.
What? Console speed running. Now this is another thing that's kind of bugged me lately. It seems like lately points don't matter as much. It's how fast you finish the game. I'm not a speed runner. Have you done any speed running?
No, I don't think so.
Does what you've seen, the speedrunners, do they impress you? Do you want learn to conquer a game in the quickest time possible?
No, quickest time, no.
Okay. What is your favorite genre of games?
Genre? Oh, boy. Well, I'm at the 80s, but to the shooters, I'm adjusting to them. I'm not the greatest of them. But I mentioned two shooters I love. That would be the original Darius and Forgotten Worlds.
Forgotten Worlds, yes.
Yeah, my Darius video, originally, I finished it once a lot at Haunt Trails, and I want to see it one last time in the Galloping Ghost. The video is up there for that.
All right. What's your least favorite genre?
Fighting. One-on-one.
Now, why are fighting games? Why are they the least favorite?
Let me say this. When the original Street Fighter 2 came out, it was simple.
Right.
But then it's like when they evolved, it was like combos. Combos a minute. How the hell do they do that?
Yeah.
Special moves. And they're one thing, but the combos are so damn hard.
Plus, you got to remember the pattern. And all the combination of buttons you got to push in sequence. Which
I try to spice my life, but fighting games are not for me.
So I imagine we will not see you at Combo Breaker.
No.
Okay, fair enough. Now, I wrote notes down. Typically, I just have, gosh, I go back to the statue. What was your reaction when you saw that the very first time, when they unveiled it? Did that catch you by surprise? Did you know they were going to?
Yeah, but I said myself I wasn't worthy of that title so many times that Pete deserved it. He was inducted in the International Video Hall of Fame. I still think this day he was more deserving of that than me, but even though I got it. But it's great. Great honor.
And you pretty much are considered the Galloping Ghost ambassador.
Well, if I go to Europe again, I'll be happy to do that. Like I was at an arcade in London, but I know there's arcade club in Bury, Manchester. If my sister would book a trip, we stay in London. We have a immediate family, so.
But you've gone. I mean, since you've gone to arcades all over the country. You've gone to Canada, like Fun Spot in New Hampshire.
I've never been there.
Never? Really? Okay. Where are some of the arcades you've been to that are not in the Midwest? I know you mentioned Europe, but
I don't know.
Grinkers?
What?
Grinkers in Idaho? No? Anything in Florida or California?
California, no. Florida was mostly Walt Disney World Resorts.
I know back then, yes, I've been to Disney World once. Of course, that was when I won my Nintendo title. There was all sorts of arcades down there. Mm-hmm. Not so much now, unfortunately. But, well, let me ask you this. Gotta move around? Yeah. 7th inning stretch, I guess. Speaking of Europe, have you ever heard of the arcade in the Czech Republic called Arcadery? It's Arcade HRY.
Not really.
Not really?
The only two countries I've been to in Europe were United Kingdom and Netherlands, Amsterdam. There were no arcades yet in Amsterdam, but I'm going to put something back.
Okay. Well, speaking of Europe, our next guest on the podcast will be this lady, Tracy Gleave.
Oh, cool.
Classic 80s arcade record holder. That will be April the 14th. Yeah, I'm taking a break next week because next week is the week of Midwest Gaming Classic, and I need to prepare to travel. So I take a break. Yes. It will be 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 8 p.m. Greenwich time. So it's a Sunday broadcast just to accommodate for the time difference. It'll be a great time. I don't see Tracy again stateside. She came out last year and aired T20 and put up some world records and tore it up on the Classic Williams games. Joust, Defender.
Joust Queen.
Yep. Ha. So here's another question. Throughout your career, yes, I'm going to have to bring it up. You've had challenges. I think the biggest thing you worry about is outbursts. I know there's been all these audio clips that get thrown out there. How have you managed this? How have you managed for this long? And still were able to pull Tapper. I forgot about Tapper. How are you able to accomplish so much despite all the mental challenges you've had?
Define outbursts, like when I swear and then do it on accident, and then say that I apologize by saying, "Oh, you didn't hear that part of French." Is that what you mean by that?
Yeah.
I don't do it purposely. I do excuse myself. I say, "Oh, sorry, you didn't hear that part of French." I not like doing that anymore. I don't.
Right.
I just think it's just not me. That's the reason I'm just tired of sometimes competitive arcade gaming these days. It's just I just like cussing and swearing and playing competitively. I don't mean to, but I just had to it's tiring.
Now we've had tournament situations. Yeah, we've had to help you, keep you in check when something goes. You get frustrated and then you want to
take a breather.
Let it loose.
Let loose.
We do everything. We do what we can to calm you down when something ain't going right, and reassure you we understand why you have the outbursts. It's
not even on purpose.
You can't help it. And there's things.
It's not with everybody.
Yeah, of course.
I don't mind people when you watch me play. I like it. Other people, they just say, "Don't watch me." But I mean, it's like they think you're a jinx people if they watch you. That's not me. They want to watch me, fine. But I just tell them if I swear, I apologize. Really.
But I'm saying that everybody has their little quirks. Everybody has their challenges. I know I brought up last week that somebody passed away recently who had a huge challenge. That would have been Mike Brawley Legs. The person who was who could only had use of his face to play fighting games. It's out of Texas.
Heavy.
You're not sure who I'm talking about. Let me. I'm gonna throw that slide back up there. I still have it. This guy. You heard of him?
I saw a picture of him. Yeah.
He's had the biggest challenge of all throughout life.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, he passed away a week ago, and yeah, that was. But despite everything that,
I have a learning disability, but this disability is different.
right, and I have my own quirks to deal
Yeah.
with, which recently I got that. Now I've gotten to find out. I found out recently why I function the way I do, and yes, yes. Get this up there. Everybody say this. Anyway. Yes. He passed away recently, and but he's not in pain anymore. And no, his memory will live on. And
Yeah.
you know, that's you should everybody who everybody thinks they have a rough time in gaming. He had it rough. He had it rougher than everybody else, and he still was a force to be reckoned with.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let me ask you that. What? I guess I'll throw this out there. What was the hardest scoring achievement that you've ever accomplished? Yeah, what was the hardest score to get that you got? Whether it was for short time or long term.
Man, it's so hard.
Well, you can name a couple. Doesn't have to be one.
Maybe Jungle King and I don't know. I like 2 games that I've had house size. I know 3 at house size. So it says Time Pilot 4, Frontline, and Food Fight. They still were 10 years.
I know Frontline had a controller issue.
Well, it's working out, I think.
They did fix that, and I tried because I wanted to kind of get tokens off of that one. I wasn't intending to take the score. But yeah, you pulled it off. Somebody suggested Bubbles was the hardest.
Yeah, I know. Magic game.
Okay.
What's going to be beat? Who knows?
All right. Who do you think is the guy? Who do you think is the front runner for Gamer of the Year?
I don't know.
No.
I wish I knew.
Okay.
It's harder these days.
Future goals. Do you have anything that you want, anything out there that you want to achieve that you have not yet?
One thing, but it's not arcade related.
Oh.
I know I talk about dating and, so one type of person, but just life is too short. I just, I really don't like talk dating a single mom. I don't mean to say that. It's just, why? Okay, there we go.
Somebody asked. Tracy asked how high was the bubble score, so there it is, 1.7 million. Pretty impressive. Quite impressive.
Somebody's my word.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh, look. Oh, I just saw something over here. I'll get to that in a bit.
So I saw that, but Andrew.
Fact. So we are. Yeah, I'm gonna refresh this because I had this loaded up on the screen. So yeah, Centipede, the high score contest. Well, the Battle of the Arcades is still raging. Andrew broke 200,000.
I prefer the Battle Arcades 2019. That was different.
Yeah, Revolt. They need to put in one more score to qualify.
Hey, I don't want to end this early. I got. I'm running out of juice on this, and
okay.
Yeah, I know I don't know how long it takes, but I don't know how much we've been over 2 hours.
We're getting close to the end. We're close to the end.
Oh, okay.
We're at the 2 hour mark, so we'll get this wrapped up. I kind of thought about doing a little name association, but maybe we'll say that for some other time. But
Yeah.
we did put in 2 hours, and
Heavy.
I think that's a good length. That's a good length for a podcast, as far as I'm
Yeah,
concerned.
share me the link if we have time for this, please. That'd be interesting. More of my friends will see this.
All right. This will remain on Twitch for at least a week, and then it'll get uploaded to my YouTube channel. As customary, it'll be, well, I had it. There we go. This is where it's going to be. But it's going to be on Twitch this week. Twitch.tv/rap_sheet. By the way, I need 9 more subscribers so I can reach affiliate level on Twitch. So if you can scrounge up 9 people that have not subscribed to this channel, please help. Anyway, okay. But yeah, Galloping Ghost Arcade's still behind. I guess they're in 4th place still. Well, no. Yeah, they're in 4th. I put 92,000, but somebody's got to beat my 3rd place score. Any final words? Any final words?
Well, what can I say? In the matter of life, what can I say? If it were a saying world, be excellent to each other and party on dudes. That's all I can think of from Bill and Ted. And just don't follow the hype. What I mean by that?
Okay. Okay.
I enjoyed it, Steve. Thank you very much.
All right. All right, Jimbo Slice, James White, the 6-pack champion. I hope to match that mark this year. We'll see.
No worries.
I got 4 belts. I got 2 to go.
Okay.
C2E2. You better be there. You better play against me.
If Ghost says that, I will be there.
All right. You promise?
1,000,000%. I'll talk to my parents so they to drive me there. I don't like the city, but I need to be there.
Don't get cold feet at the last minute.
I'll be there.
All right. Don't get cold feet at the last minute. I'll see you there. I hope to see you around the arcade soon. All right.
Okay.
All right. Have a good night.
Take care.
All right. So to wrap this up, yes, gonna take a break next week, because it'll be Midwest Gaming Classic time. Tracy Glaive will be the guest on the program on Sunday, April the 14th, 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 8 p.m. Greenwich Time. That's in Europe. So yes, weekend's coming up. I got stuff to do. I got to rehab my back and prepare for the for the 20th. It's not the 20th. This is actually the 21st edition of the convention, but this will be convention number 20 for Midwest Gaming Classic, and I will be there, and I'll be playing hard. I'll probably not be buying very much because I got so much I have bought that I have not played. Ugh. So, probably because I've been playing arcade games a lot more. I'm more interested in that than the console stuff. Anyway, yes, thank you all for joining me on the Crimeycade podcast. And that's it for me. I hope to see you around Midwest Gaming Classic in a week. If not, the Galloping Ghost Arcade, whenever I can make it back up there. But until next time, see you around the arcade soon. Have a good night, everybody.